Hey everyone, this is Aaron with Crypto Trends. Today, January 13th, 2019. Today, we're talking about Ethereum and some others. Ethereum is currently in what I think is Phase B. We'll cover that. So what is Phase B? Well, it has to deal with Wyckoff charting stuff. So let's get to it. Please keep in mind that this is not financial advice, just my opinion. Alright, let me make sure I'm streaming, and yeah, alright. So, what is Phase B? Well, let's go over here, and this is a chart for Wyckoff. And as you can see here, we have this downward line, and you can find these charts all over. Just Google Wyckoff and go to images, okay? But anyway, we have this huge downward line, okay? And then it goes up and down, and we're in this huge trading range. And then we're looking for this a pretty big spring, which is like that real low point that people talk about. Oh, it's like that big old V that we have to like have a recovery or whatever, that, you know, that type of stuff. Anyway, part of that in Wyckoff is called the spring. And I don't think we're quite there yet. Let's go take a look, and we'll compare this chart to what I currently see in Ethereum. So right now, this is Ethereum versus USDT on the 4-hour logarithmic chart. And if we scroll out here, we can see all this. Yeah, we all know where we came from, right? In January, just been going down, 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 down. And I had some other stuff here. This was some previous Wyckoff stuff, and the moon sentiment was to go up, and that was the moon sentiment. Okay, it was mooning. Anyway, so what do we have going here? Don't worry about this. Let's kill that. Okay, so what do we have going on down here? Let me scroll in. Let me put auto on here a second to help with the scaling. So we scroll in here. I tell you what, let me go there. That's what I was looking for. Perfect. Okay, so we scroll in here. We see this big downward trend, and it goes all the way down here to this PS, which is point of last supply. And that basically means there's not very many sellers left, okay? There's not much supply. And so what happens is that because of that, it has a reaction. So this is the cause, and then it going up is the effect. Let's go take a look at Wyckoff. Whoops, I just need to escape out of here. So right there, there's the PS. It goes down. That's the cause, and here's the effect. It goes up. And then it comes down to an SC. Ooh, SC. What is that? That is right here. Okay? SC is the selling climax. And as you can see, it went down. Boom. There's the selling climax. See? Got it. All right. And then what can happen sometimes is that after selling climax, you can have a secondary test. Boom. Sometimes this can also be get confused with a spring. And as you can see, when you come down here to a secondary test, wham, it goes up. Now I'm taking a pretty big view on this. I'm looking way out, so I'm saying, okay, well, down here, here's the selling climax and just a little secondary test, but here's the actual AR, which is the automatic rally. Some people call it recovery. But this is the cause, this is the effect. And notice this huge gap. So what do you do here for charting? At the bottom of the AR, or the secondary test, you have a horizontal line, okay? And on trading view, that's what, an Alt H? So you hit Alt H and boom, puts a line in. Then you go top to the AR. You go to the top of the AR, boom, another line. So these red lines right here, those are the trading ranges. And I was thinking, okay, yeah, this is a spring, and so we're going to go up, and then we're going to go up, and then yeah, we're going to come back down. It's going to go down further, and we're going to see a not so great future, because we're looking at this going all the way down. But not quite that bad, because it hit my little target box, and it's been dancing around there for a while. It's been dancing around this box, but about an hour and a half ago, wham, it hit the box. And that was on this last spike downward. So I'm thinking, okay. So my original thoughts of this being basically a smaller trend is actually turned into a larger trend, which is actually good news. And that is because, what do we have to look forward here? And why do I say it's in phase B? Well, we'll get to the good news and you'll see. Here we go. So we have our automatic rally, secondary test. We had another secondary test in here, but we had our AR and ST. So if we flip back, we have our AR, and then there's our ST, right? Secondary test. Let me scroll in so you guys can see that. Okay, so AR and ST. And then it kind of goes up. How does this match up? So there's our AR, here's our ST, and then it goes up. Aw, be darned. So right here, after the other rally, after the first secondary test, in between those, that's where phase B starts. Notice that red line I put. Phase B, in between the very top of the higher after the automatic rally to, the top right here. The next top after the automatic rally. Wham. So here's our ST, and then here's the top of that, and there you draw another line, which is labeled here on this little chart resistance lines. Wow. So that's here and here, okay? So what do we have after that? We have drops down. We have a pretty substantial drop down, and here we're looking for drop down, which is ST in phase B, if you can see that, which is a secondary test in phase B. So this part of the phase. Let's go see how that lines up. So here's our SC. This is phase A, and now we're in phase B. And we hit this, and I said, okay, we are heading down for phase B. That this is a phase B instead of just a failed. We are still in play. I was thinking perhaps we might be had some type of a failure with this drop down, but we didn't, because the amount that we dropped, to me, signaled that it's, because it hit this box of mine, it signaled that we're still in play for a much grander, larger scale Wyckoff phase. And let me get the auto here so you can scroll up and see. All right, so we have our phase B here. It hit this box. I'm looking for it to bounce around a little bit and then come down to this level here. And yeah, we can extend it out, whatever. So that's at like a, not a very nice level to see. That's like let's call it $80 down to, I don't know, 60, 65 range. We'll see what happens there. But to me, this is going to be the secondary test for phase B. This one is not. I know there's ST there, but it goes with this little guy right there. So I'm looking for right here to be whammo. ST in phase B. Wham. Okay. Oh my gosh, that looks terrible. That looks absolutely awful, because that's a pretty big drop right around in this range. Notice that it's below the selling climax. Okay, the phase A selling climax. Wham, there's phase A selling climax. ST in B phase. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then what we have is more bounce ups, which looks like right up to the automatic recovery of phase A. So it can come down all the way here and then bounce all the way up to this red line, okay? Volatility, folks. Volatility is what we have coming our way, to say the least. All right, so then what happens? Well, it goes, let me get my little pencil thingy out. Real technical term, isn't it? Pencil thingy. So comes down and then goes, and then what we're looking for is some garbage like that, right? Some garbage. There's that garbage all the way down to the spring. So here's a spring, and then we're looking at other stuff like that. Oops. Boom. And then notice that it goes higher than this and up. So that's the good news here. Okay, from the spring, which is way, way, way low, up. Okay. So, whoops, let me get my other thing out. Okay, there we go. And so, yeah, it goes up above here, and so we could be looking at something, you know, pretty giganormous. We'll see. And how does that look to you? I mean, keep in mind this is not to scale, okay? Definitely not to scale. But yeah, how does that sound to you? So that is Ethereum, and I think that we are in the phase B section according to Wyckoff and the Wyckoff charts. And yeah, go ahead and study Wyckoff. It's interesting because it deals more with market psychology, which is quite interesting because that is definitely what we're in. We're in like a psychological warfare here with cryptos, right? Anyway, so that's that. Okay, so let's go check out BTC. Do it on Bitfinex, see what it's doing. Now I had this thing marked up, okay, a very similar pattern. Notice we have our trading, here's our AR up here, selling climax, okay. I was thinking this whole thing was a spring because we had a low volume failed sell-off where it just had to bounce back up, and so we're bouncing around. Anyway, what I'm looking for here, it fell below, but I'm still looking for this jump across the creek. It is still basically in play, okay? It is still basically in play for Bitcoin. So although I'm seeing Ethereum to have a lot of volatility, Bitcoin, you know, it's still bouncing around in this trading range here. And yeah, it's a pretty big trading range. I mean, it's going from basically, what, 36 up to 43. And yeah, anyway, on here, looking for it to hit a secondary test in this box at some time. And, you know, it could go up like this blue line here, certainly. But I'm looking for a secondary test in that box, and so we'll see what happens. And let me just scroll out here to, let's say, the day. Get auto off here so I can scroll up. Okay, so if we go down here and test it and go a little bit below here, I'm not panicking. It's still in play. It's I'm looking for it to bounce off of this white line here, which is right around, I don't know, 3,000 mark. We'll see. Please keep in mind, this is just my opinion. I'm just telling you guys where I think it's going to go. Absolutely do not base anything or any trades off of this stuff, okay? Take it as basic guesses. And you know, these boxes were put here from remote viewings. So if you want to base your stuff off of remote viewing, money better spent getting a financial advisor. That is my financial advice, my one and only financial advice. Go seek the advice of a financial advisor. Anyway, you guys know what's up. This is all your own money and all your own call. But anyway, if Bitcoin goes below like here, it could go way down. Bummer. But I think it's going to bounce, and I think it's going to come around here, then, you know, start its way up, and then we might actually see a trend reversal, okay? I'm not talking moons or even Yugos. at this point. But I did draw this line here, and you know, that's not to scale. Okay, but yeah, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, it's gonna go down. So this point here at the bottom of the blue line, we're not quite there yet. Okay, we're heading down. So approximately pretty much like that. So we're gonna have like a jump across the creek, which is, so we have another side of this that's looks like that. So it looks like kind of like a creek bed. Anyway, that's kind of cool stuff. Definitely check out Wyckoff, and you can see like the patterns. You can actually see the patterns for this. It's very interesting. So we have the markdown, and then yeah, it can go down, and then it'll go up, and like that's called the markup phase, and all, you know, all that good stuff. Check out Wyckoff. See, check out Wyckoff. Cool patterns. So what else is going on? Let's go take a look at good old oh yeah, XRP USDT. XRP is not having very good days. It hasn't had very good days of late. As you can see here where these lines are going, let me just extend these out. Keep in mind, I'm only looking at the wicks. I'm looking at the wicks here, and then it just so happened to line up with that wick. Okay. And then here at the bottom, sometimes at the bottom I use the candles. It just depends. But let's get rid of that guy because I like this yellow guy better. Whammo. General trend. Here we go. So this is basically not a triangle at all. It's a diverging triangle, which means that instead of things getting tighter and tighter where it winds up, it has the ability to have more volatility like this as it goes. Okay, not such a great thing if you're into stability. If you're into trading, oh my gosh, this is like you're salivating. You're salivating at these divergent triangles, you know, where the point, where the end point of a triangle is on the left instead of on the right. Because I know, like, you know, a lot of people draw stuff like this, and then you know, be like here. So there's the point of the triangle, right? No, I don't see it like that at all. That's a converging triangle, and this I'm actually seeing as a diverging triangle where the point is up here. Interesting stuff. It's kind of like a perspective. So if we go all the way up, and I got to reposition that, just making that longer. There. I can bring that down. Okay, so there is your diverging triangle, and the general slope is bearish. Look at that, look at that. And I drew this box. Once again, this is remote viewing stuff, so it's interesting. Do you guys have a crystal ball? Absolutely, you do. You know you do. And heck, follow your own crystal ball. You know, you have it. And the way to get a crystal ball of your own, simple. Go over here to the little rectangle, draw a box, and then just move it around. You can have your eyes closed or whatever, and move it around and let it sit wherever it feels good. That's, I mean, it's as simple as that. Give it a try. You might blow yourself away. But anyway, good old XRP. And keep in mind, I am not an XRP hater. I mean, I've held XRP for a long time, and I look into getting into XRP again in the future. So yeah. Anyway, I'm looking for it to hit around in this. We'll see what happens. I like to say I'm seeing some Wyckoff patterns right now, but it's basically bots. I mean, there's not enough interest in XRP to really push it out so where it's doing Wyckoff stuff. it's doing bot stuff. So this is all basically manipulated. And yeah, that's just one of those things, and you got to be aware of that. And a lot of people love XRP, and they're going to say, oh my gosh, no, there's a huge community. Yeah, well, you can take all their money together, and it doesn't do anything to the market. So you can have 0.5% is them, and the other 99.5% are the whales. Okay, they're the ones that control the market. Anyway, here we go. So, but XRP I like. XRP I do like, and so you can see the general trend of where I think it's going, and I have no problem with this. If it goes lower, if it hits this box right here, that's going to be a decision box of where I go. One thing you can look at here, if you want to label it kind of quasi Wyckoff stuff, this right there could that would be right around here, selling climax. Okay, you can call it that way. And then what we're looking for is, you know, secondary test. Usually hits lower. Well, sometimes it does, sometimes it does. I mean it's the market. It's there are no norms, man. But anyway, you could call this a selling climax. But in actuality, what I see here is BARTs. That's what I see here. So there's one BART. Then here's another where it still has room to go to finish off this one. And what am I talking about? What do I mean finishing it off? You have your, let me scroll out of the way. You have your input. So you're putting in, let's say this is $100 here. Okay, and I bumped it up. So you put in $100 and it goes way up there. Oh my gosh. And you go all the way up to the very top of where it stops, okay? Of the wick, not just the candlestick. And so, because the guy or entity, or they call him a CO, composite operator, they had to put money in to bump it way up here. And then, yeah, I probably caught some FOMO on the other side. So, okay, fine. So let's take off about a third of that. About a third. Hey, there's your 0.681 ratio, right? That everybody's crazy about. Anyway, so you have this investment he put in, boom, and then they're going to want to get it out, depending on what they're doing, okay? But let's say they're just doing an even Steven trade, boom, they put it in and they want to get it out. And so usually they've been selling. And on these slow bleeds here, yeah, it could drop a bit. And keep in mind, everything can go up too. I mean, that's the nature of the market. It can go up and go down. And so, yeah, it can go like this. You know, the huge downward thing. And then it could spike up. I mean, there's so many things it could do. But for here, I'm looking for more increased volatility along this path until it reaches right around here in this range. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, that's when things are going to be interesting. Yeah, so if you can't read that on the chart, it's right around the 12-cent mark. So there you go. But anyway, that's what I'm seeing. More volatility for XRP. And let me kill that. Let me clean up my chart here. Okay, interesting. Try drawing these lines here. See if you get something similar. Because you could go like that, and then it makes it even worse, you know. But a converging or diverging lines. Okay, check that out, and you might. Let's put it this way. You might discover something on your own. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but fool around and you might discover something interesting. Because I really don't see people draw diverging patterns. They're always converging for some reason. Anyway, let's go take a look at another one of my favorites, XLM, Stella. Let's look at it. Yeah, we can look at USDT, good old Binance. Sucking wind. sucking wind again. Not doing so great. Let's just call it similar story to XRP. Okay. Let's see what it is versus ETH. Yeah, I have boxes here. Boom, boom, boom. Hit all three of them. Looking for a fourth one down here. So we'll see. Big ass spring. So guys, this is spring. This is what happens after a spring. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so we're looking here. You could call this, since it bounced off of this line, this big diagonal uptrending line. It's going up pretty high against ETH, and I think, yeah, so we'll see. Can go up, but I'm looking around this range here. Anyway, that's that. I mean, keep in mind, I'm not married to any of these coins. I like the projects and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, you know how it is. You know how it is. Anyway, so that's about it, guys. Best of luck to everyone, and I'm heading off. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting times. Let's look at BTC again. Interesting times here. I mean, people are saying this thing has a long way to go down. Yeah. But man, it could have a long way. It does have a long way to go up as well. Anyway, that's about it. So you guys have a wonderful night, and I am checking out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and get notified.